Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Welcome to today's information session. We're waiting a few more minutes for others to come in, and then we'll begin and get started, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Julaibib, and I'm one of the directors of the program. I'm the director over programs and counseling. We also have our other director, Ustadh Mustafa, who is over the Quran, Islamic Studies, and Arabic program. He also oversees to make sure that the academic curriculum is aligned with the Quran and Sunnah. We will be sharing information about this more. Our principal is Miss Jamila Reese. She is unable to attend today due to a family emergency. However, she helps to supervise the elementary, middle, and high school programs. We always like to start off by talking about the mission of Everyday Ibaadah Academy, as well as our ultimate vision. Everyday Ibaadah Academy is a fully accredited K-12 private Islamic virtual school committed to providing educational opportunities for diverse Muslim learners around the globe. We work to offer quality, standard-based academics with the integration of the Quran and authentic Sunnah. We also like to begin by providing some background information. Everyday Ibaadah Academy is a US-based online international school. We were founded in September of 2020. When we first began, we started out with pre-K through second grade. In our second year of operation, we added in grades 3 through 5. In our third year of operation, we added in grades 6 through 9. Now, alhamdulillah, we will be adding in grades 10 and some self-paced options for grades 3 through 11. We provide preschool through 10th grade for the live classes this year. Our vision is to provide global learners with a fully accredited, comprehensive online elementary, middle, and high school program by the year of 2024, 2025, inshallah. So our intention is that our first senior class will be held in this year, inshallah. We are a completely 100% online school. We are registered in the state of California and have full accreditation from Cognia, formerly known as Advanced Ed. Also, students work towards earning a U.S. high school diploma, but can still take leveled exams to meet IGCES or GCES certifications. This is something that definitely in the middle and high school programs we'll be providing more workshop style support with. Students do follow along with the curriculum that we provide that meets national standards that are found within the US and the United Kingdom, as well as many national schools around the world, inshallah, like international programs. Also, you can always look us up in the California Department of Education. You can find our school profile in the California School Directory. There you would see a CDS code that is located. Students receive core academic instruction in the areas of English, math, science, with STEAM integration. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, and as well as social studies. We also have Islamic studies, Quran, Arabic, PE, and coding classes. All of these are provided weekly. Parents are provided with monthly meetings facilitated by the principal. This is called Coffee with the Principal. These meetings help to keep parents up to date with upcoming events, tips for success for how students can be successful, as well as these are meetings where parents can ask questions or meetings where parents can provide feedback. Also, we do offer parent-teacher conferences after grading periods. So usually after a progress report is issued, there's a parent-teacher conference, as well as we have a parent-teacher conference at the end of the first semester in that transition between the second semester. Also, we do provide back to school meetings at the beginning of the year, as well as school-wide assemblies. The school-wide assemblies usually focus on specific themes that are highlighted at Everyday Ibaadah Academy. We have many different activities. We're really big on promoting school culture and fostering an environment where students stay motivated, as well as they have engaging activities that they can participate in with peers through a virtual context. I'm going to be sharing some more information about this as well later in the program. We offer for the elementary level, pre-K, we do have transitional kindergarten. This was something that we had in our second year of operation. And now that we're going into our fourth year, we're bringing it back for KG1 and KG2. This is so that there is a stepping stone before students reach grade 1. It helps to provide a stronger foundation for students as well. We will also have grade 1 and 2, grade 3, grade 4, and grade 5. These are all the grades that will be able to receive live instruction. And then for grades 3 through 5 in the elementary school programs, we do have some self-paced options where they're able to follow along with the portal content and meet with a learning facilitator bi-weekly or monthly. I'll be also sharing some information about that more. In our high school and middle school program, for middle school, we offer grades 6, 7, and 8. And in our high school program, grades 9 and 10, and for live instruction. Then for 11th grade, this is where we have some self-paced instruction that students are able to complete credit requirements in, or like, for example, with the self-paced, this is a way where students could even accelerate Also, we wanted to help inform everyone and share information about our status with accreditation. Alhamdulillah, by the grace and mercy of Allah, we are a fully accredited school. In August of 2020, we applied for accreditation with Cognia, formerly known as Advanced Ed. September 1st of 2020, we opened our online doors, and this is when we became members with Cognia. Cognia is an accreditation agency that accredits many schools around the world. They accreditate schools in the US, as well as schools in regions like Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, parts of Europe or Asia or Africa. Cognia accreditation is something that helps to show that a school is working continuously towards improvement, as well as working to really help meet the needs of the students that they serve. In March of 2022, we were able to pass our readiness review. That was our first evaluation, and alhamdulillah, we were granted candidacy. Then after that, we completed to continue on our journey where we were compiling our documentation, doing observations, analyzing our student performance, as well as how the instructional practices were being held in the classrooms. In February of 2023, we had our next and final evaluation called the engagement review. This is where we were then recommended for full accreditation. And then June 28th, we were recognized for global for accreditation from the Global Commission. And alhamdulillah, this is something that helps us to be recognized internationally for our accreditation. So accreditation helps us help our students to gain credits that are accredited, and that can be used for granting of a U.S. high school diploma. It ensures that we aim to provide quality programs at the elementary, middle, and high school level. It requires that we help students meet grade level progress and achievements in all areas of study, as well as displays as a school how we work towards continuous improvement to provide the best instruction and services that we can. In addition to this, we have goals as a program that we have set forth, and this is a goal of providing opportunities that help our students become confident in their identity as Muslims. We aim to integrate standard-based learning with principles of tarbiyah, authentic resources based upon the Quran and Sunnah, as well as engaging content. The decisions that we make for the school are always guided by the Quran and Sunnah. Our director, Ustadh Mustafa, is a student of knowledge that helps to oversee the school programs for Quran, Islamic studies, and Arabic, as well as how the academic content is aligned with the Quran and Sunnah. And he has been helping us to build a program that supports learners from both an Islamic and academic context. He has a wide range of experience. He has served as a superintendent for face-to-face programs in Saudi Arabia, where there was a student body count of 3,000 students. He has also worked in other leading administrative roles, supervising schools and helping to ensure that students were meeting the academic requirements for diplomas and graduations. I will let him introduce himself, as well as provide some words about the program, and later we will also have some focus on the Quran, Islamic Studies, and Arabic department.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah nabiyina Muhammad wa man wala. So I won't take too much time. As Julaybib mentioned, I'm one of the directors and the co-founder of Everyday Ibaadah Academy. By the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal, we started this academy 3 years ago. We're actually going into our 4th academic year, when we as educators, because the 2 founders and the principal are all educators, although, as she mentioned, me being a student of knowledge, alhamdulillah, but by the grace of Allah, my career in Saudi Arabia was began as a teacher, Islamic education at an international school, a well-known international school in Saudi Arabia with over 12 branches. And after about 3 years, I moved into leadership. I became a vice principal in the same international school there in Saudi Arabia. Then after some time, I became the academic operations manager, finally ending with being the head of the school. And then I moved to a different school, an up-and-coming school there in Saudi Arabia. And I was the superintendent of the school. And as Jalebi mentioned, it had over, my last school had over 3,000 students. But prior to that, the school that I was the head of prior to that had over 8,000 students. So alhamdulillah, I do have a background in education at all levels, international education. Also, I have experience with Cognia, which is the accreditation company that Jalebi mentioned for our school. Me joining Everyday Ibaadah Academy from the beginning, we came together and we realized that there was a tremendous need for Muslim students, Muslim children globally to have an alternative, especially in view of what goes on in schools around the world. And like I said, that was close to 4 years ago. So we wanted to create an alternative, a safe platform for students, Muslim students, to learn, to study with a high level of quality education. So we came together and we started Everyday Ibaadah Academy. And as Jalebi mentioned, this was about 4 years ago. Our first year, less than 50 students. Our second year went up to about 100 and maybe close to 150 students. Our third year, which was this past academic year, by the grace of Allah, we passed 200 and we were close to 250 students. So the school is rapidly growing, and there's indeed a tremendous need for it. And parents globally, Muslim parents, realize the importance of protecting their children from what goes on in schools, of course, public schools, and likewise what goes on amongst students and the likes. So there's a tremendous need for it. So my participation with Everyday Ibaadah Academy, I'm specifically over the Quran, Islamic, and Arabic department, but I also overview the other departments, and I review the content in English, math, science, social studies, geography, and the likes to make sure that there's nothing that opposes our religious values and our beliefs. So it's a pleasure to be with the school, and I look forward to meeting the new families and the new students as we enter into our fourth academic year. Of course, it is a new school. There are many challenges. It's growing rapidly. We do serve 2 time zones, so we serve the Far East as well as the Far West. We have teachers in both time zones, and we have students in both time zones. So it's very demanding, it's very challenging, but there's a great need for it. So we seek the reward from Allah Azza wa Jal, hoping that we are providing a service, a much needed service to the Muslim community, the global Muslim community. Bidhnillah. I'll continue later on, as she mentioned, Bidhnillah, when I specifically speak about my departments. Jazakumullah khair.
No. Okay, so we also like to share some information about how we're different from other virtual schools. Some things that make us different is that we are a Muslim-centered school upon the Quran and Sunnah that utilize US-based curriculum and instruction to support international learners. We offer live classes, and as I mentioned, we'll be having in the self-paced components as well. And all of this is accessible through the online portal. And this is also available 24/7. So you always have access to the resources, the materials, the content. We have a parent advisory council, and the parent advisory council is a parent network at the school that helps to support other parents as well as students. They really are supportive in helping us facilitate different activities and opportunities for students and families, as well as they help to serve almost like a liaison between parents and teachers, as well as the the administrative staff. We've had various contests, local meetups, different events that I'll be sharing information about, and the Parent Advisory Council kind of help to facilitate the events along with us with support. All parents at Everyday Ibaadah Academy are able to, participate as a Parent Advisory Council member. This is something that we do encourage and something that we are very grateful, for the assistance, because it really helps to add to the school, as well as parents help to provide us with a lot of feedback on ways that we can improve the programs and provide the best learning environments that we can. We provide technology support workshops at the beginning of the school year, as well as at various points in the school year, both for parents as well as for students. This is because we really want to help everyone be able to easily navigate the systems and the platforms that we use. One thing that is newly added this year are the student success workshops. This is very important, and we see that this is something that helps students at the high school level be able to create plans where they have goals that they set that they would like to see accomplished and achieved. So through these student success workshops, we will be working with our high school students in order to create plans for whether this is for completing the subject requirements, plans for what they want to do after they graduate and receive a high school diploma, if they want to go to a college or a university, or they want to take a career path. And so this is the way that we will be helping students work on goals that they set. Also, these student success workshops will help with even like test preparation. So where we were talking about the test support for students who are taking different leveled exams for a more UK-based, program after completion of studies, or it could be test preparation workshop for the SATs or the ACTs. We know the SATs, some states are providing them still, some are phasing them out in place of other testing measures. Also internationally, the SAT is still usually something that is proctored and offered. These are things that we are working to support our students at the high school level with, inshallah, and that you will see offered this year. In addition, we have some students who maybe are getting caught up with credits and various things. And so there's other supports that we will put in. All in all, these workshops are to support the student ultimately. We provide digital and mailed resources. So all students enrolled with us for the academic classes, they get the digital content at no additional cost. This is something that we provide. You can download it, print it, bind it, put it together into a spiral book and use it for the grade level academic classes. In addition to that, there are some digital resources also for Quran or Arabic that sometimes you would receive. We do also provide a materials list for parents who would like physical book copies to purchase material from vendors that we use for the curriculum that we teach from. In addition to that, the Islamic studies content, there's a digital license that comes with that. And this is where we direct you to the vendor for that, Maymuna, and then you would purchase those materials from her. In addition to that, we do have various activities to help promote school culture, because we always want to keep the environment in a way that where it's motivated, it helps to nurture the students, it's fun, it's engaging. So this is where we have like a lot of different activities like virtual play dates, student clubs, we have contests, and we have the local meetups that we started this past year. I'll be talking more about that. Also, we do provide academic counseling. This is something that we provide for all students. This is something that you'll see really implemented for these upcoming activities like the Student Success Workshop, as well as the grade and credit check-ins that we have. This past spring, we offered this for our families, and this is something that regularly we're going to do at certain points in the semester. in order to support our middle school and high school students as well. And so we'll have these grade credit checks, as well as we will still have the parent-teacher conferences at the middle school level. This is all in order to support students and ensure that they are meeting or making routine progress. Also, as I mentioned, and we've mentioned before, we've been members with Cognia since September 2020, and then we have full accreditation. So another thing that we like to talk about is what we offer. So we have virtual classrooms that are accessible through our online learning portal. After students are enrolled with us, they receive a student email. They have also the student, like a passcode or passwords that they are provided with. This is for being able to log into our websites, access the portal content. In addition to that, this is for our learning management system called ThinkWave. We have other digital content that we will be providing this year, because one thing that we're trying to do is make some of the things that need to be submitted be able to be submitted digitally and minimize some of the printing that is taking place. So we'll be having a more balance of printed work as well as the digital work that can be submitted. Live and core subject and special classes for families with standard-based curriculum is also offered weekly through, we provide weekly plans, and the weekly plans help to really keep our families informed of what's going to be coming up. It's kind of like a scope of the week, and you're provided with information that helps you know what the students will be studying in their classes. Also, for older students, usually in grades 3 through 10 and 11, we would recommend that the students are staying, on top of also reading the weekly plan and knowing what they need to prepare for. The weekly plan has information about any upcoming quizzes, tests, projects, different assignments that will be due. This way, if they need to print anything, they can print the pages ahead of time. Or if there's particular textbooks that they're using and they have physical book copies, they can organize the books. Also, for experiments or projects, this is something where they can get their supplies together. A lot of our classes are very hands-on, project-based. We're not the type of school where it's just looking at videos and kind of moving along in modules, but students are actually participating live. Their cameras are on. They're working with a teacher to complete assignments and activities. And they are expected to, be active participants as well. Now, in our self-paced program, however, this is where they would be working independently and following along with the models. So this is done in another more flexible style. All in all, what we do provide is we try to provide a range of support and flexibility for the different time zones that we serve. And so this is why we have our live classes. And then now we're adding in the self-paced for grades 3 through 11. We do have limited spaces for that too, that we will be accepting students for. All teaching and administrative staff are experienced, qualified, and certificated. This is something also that we do share. We will have a Meet the Teacher event. It will be like about a week before school starts, so a week and a half. We'll be providing dates and information about that. So as I was saying, with the self-paced program, it's a new, learning track that we're offering for grades 3 through 11. Students will complete the academic subjects using the digital content on the portals, and then they will join along with live classes only for review days for math and other tests that may be coming up. Also, they'll be able to be provided with biweekly or monthly check-ins with a learning facilitator. This will be something that is scheduled by appointment, and it's flexible in the way that a parent or family can set it up for either biweekly or monthly, depending on the need. Because we know that some families, the schedules are a little bit tighter, and that's why they really need the self-paced learning, and then they can only meet, once a month. And then there's some families that can meet a little bit more, and that's why we offer a family to make a choice between the two. In addition to that, this is where also when it comes to the test preparation days, it's really important that students are logging in to take the live classes for that support. because we really want to ensure that students are making adequate progress and getting the support needed to also do well with their quizzes and their tests. Also, it's really important that all appointments are maintained. The only classes that this, once again, does not apply to will be Quran, Arabic, and coding. All Quran, Arabic, and coding classes are offered live. The independent study program for self-paced learning can be extended to Islamic studies, and we will talk to you more about that. We will be having a meeting also about the self-paced program that will be coming up next week, and we will be sending out emails about that program, inshallah. Another thing that we like to share with parents is that we do provide trainings and workshops and meetings for collaboration amongst teachers, where they work together to prepare for the upcoming year. This is the last Thursday of every month that we hold this meeting. That is a student-free day. And during that student-free day, students can use it as an opportunity to get caught up with any work that they need to complete, or this is a day that they can use as a reset to relax. This is also a day that we hold the student clubs and virtual play dates. So students can participate in our cooking club, our coding, our gaming club that is facilitated by the coding teachers. And those who are gamers, usually they're using Minecraft as a system to do the gaming through. We also have journalism club. The journalism club students are working on a student newsletter for the school. And then we have an art club where students, complete different art activities. Another thing is that with these professional trainings and workshops that are provided to teachers, the aim is so that we are constantly working towards improving instruction, improving the support that we give students. With teaching, this is a regular common practice that is implemented within schools so that teachers are always up to date with best and evidence-based practices. Once again, all teachers are experienced and qualified to work with diverse learners based on a range of experience, degrees, and certifications. Our overall goal as a program is to meet the needs of our students and families that we serve. Once again, we really do emphasize student-centered learning and trying to create a system that is easy for students and families to navigate. All curriculum is aligned with Common Core, Next Generation Science Standards, and National Standards for Learning. We even provide quality standard-based Islamic Studies, Quran, and Arabic program. This is what Mustafa George will discuss and a little bit more as well. Another aim is that we try to help all students develop 21st century skills and develop positive characters. This is something that also we feel is really important, especially because our students, as they progress from the elementary school to students to adolescents, from adolescents to adults, we know that they're going to be the future generations. And so we really want to help them identify ways that they can make contributions to the society or the ummah where they live, as well as support and help their families, inshallah. Okay, I will let the Kia department talk about the program and pause here.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. So once again, as Jalaibib has mentioned, I'm the director for the Quran, Islamic, and the Arabic departments at Everyday Ibaadah Academy. And that's one of the things we want the parents to be clear is Everyday Ibaadah Academy isn't just, as you've heard, it isn't just for Islamic education. Everyday Ibaadah Academy is a full online school. So we have secular studies and we have Islamic studies. And with that being the case, in the following slides, and someone's going to present them from our department, for the senior teacher in our department, Maymuna, she's going to present those slides, bi'idhnillah, but alhamdulillah. So students that are registered with Everyday Ibaadah Academy for secular studies, Islamic studies is included in secular studies. So they'll get their schedules with, and those schedules will contain secular studies as well as Islamic studies. But we also, as you're going to see, we also provide Islamic studies for students that are not registered with Everyday Ibaadah Academy. We do that on the weekends. At any rate, we're going to go through some of those slides and mention specifically about our department and our efforts as we seek to build a strong Islamic studies department as it relates to the Quran, as it relates to learning the Arabic language, and as it relates to what we provide to our students in learning about their Islam. So that'll be presented on the following slides by our dear sister Maymuna. Okay, as it relates to the Quran studies, we do have a Quran program. And as you can see, we have levels 1 to 5. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, all of our teachers are highly qualified in teaching the Quran. We have a Hifz program, as you can see, where students are given specific targets and they're expected to memorize specific sets or portions of the Quran. And our Hifz program is actually a new program which we've introduced in order for our students to excel in learning the Book of Allah Azza wa Jal, and for those that are advanced learners of the Quran. So we have our normal Quran program, and we have our Hifz program. And the purpose of the Hifz program is to try our best to assist students in completing the Book of Allah Azza wa Jal while they're in our school. We totally understand that some parents may live in a community that they do not have access to a qualified Quran teacher. So alhamdulillah, it's introduced in our program. And once again, we have the normal Quran program, just like we have the Arabic, just like we have the Islamic education, and we also have the Hifz program. So you can see we have a weekly review and review tracker to strengthen the Hifz. So we take it very seriously. So we track our students and we check their progress and the likes. We also teach Tajweed, and you'll see some of those books like the Nuraniya, teaching them Arabic and the likes. So even if your child, and that's one of the concerns, maybe your child doesn't know how to read Arabic. So some parents may have those questions. My child doesn't know how to read Arabic. Can my child still do Quran? Yes, because our department is Arabic, Quran, and Islamic. So there's a strong level of collaboration between our Arabic teachers and our Quran teachers. So our Arabic teachers, and a lot of it is crossing over, where our Arabic teachers are teaching the same thing that our Quran teachers are teaching, because at the lower levels, our Quran teachers are teaching the students how to read Quran. So we want to make that clear to parents. Your children are not just memorizing Quran without learning how to read. No, we're teaching them how to read and helping them to memorize. We're teaching them how to read and helping them to memorize. So there's a lot of correlation and collaboration between the Arabic department, the Quran department, as well as the Islamic education department. As you can see, the last point there, parental involvement, is highly encouraged. It's very, very, especially in the lower grades, it's very important that the parents, they're engaged. And we will say it without any hesitation, that parents have to be engaged. Parents have to be engaged. Everyday Ibaadah Academy is not a school that parents can just open up the computer, say to their child, sit down and study, and the parent is totally disengaged. That's not the case. Whether it's with Quran or Arabic or Islamic or even the secular studies, that cannot be the case. Parents have to be engaged. They have to be involved. Yes. you can see in front of you, we have the different levels, and you see the level 1 and 2, you see level 3, level 4, level 5. The reason why we have these levels, is because obviously students vary in terms of how much they've memorized and their ability to read the Quran. So you can see in level 1 and 2, they start with the small surahs, right? And also they do qaida, which is qaida nuraniya, and they also read. They also study, or they also learn how to read the Quran. Level 3 and up, now they're going into surahs. And as you can see, level 4, Juz Tabarak, they're still doing qaida and reading. We want to make sure their reading is up to par. And in 5, individually memorized hifz program, where we're still going with them, but maybe some students are more advanced than others. So wherever they are in the Quran, we're still working with them and helping them to increase in that by the grace of Allah. Some of the parents may have received, if you're a new parent and you're interested in enrolling, maybe you've received an email about the Quran and Arabic placement tests. The reason why you received that email is because of this. We want to make sure students are placed in their proper levels as it relates to Quran and as it relates to Arabic. Now, some parents may say, but how is that going to work? If my child is in grade 5 or grade 6 or grade 7, how is it? Does that mean in level 1 they're going to be with 5-year-olds or the likes of that? No, that doesn't mean that. That means per grade. So for the secular studies, they're in the grade with their peers for secular studies. But when it's time for Quran and Arabic, we mix grades. So lower level students would be with, so you may have a student that's, for example, in grade, 3, but he or she's on level 5 in the Quran. So it's possible when it comes to Quran, there may be a student from grade 4, maybe a student from grade 5, right? When it comes to Quran. As for English, math, science, and other secular studies, no. He would only be with students of his age. But if it goes into Quran and Arabic, they would be with students that are close to their age. Now, that's another thing we want to clarify. We wouldn't put a younger learner with an older, in general, you wouldn't have a 5-year-old in class with an 18-year-old. You wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have that. We try to make sure, even if they're in different levels, they're in levels with students that are close to their age. That's with Quran and also with Arabic. Yes. For Islamic studies, alhamdulillah, one of our instructors who has been with us last year, and he's continuing with us this year, our dear brother, Abu Afnan Muhammad Abdullah, who is also a graduate of an Islamic university in Saudi Arabia, Jamiat al-Imam Muhammad bin Saud al-Islamiyya. He'll introduce himself and he'll speak about the Islamic studies in the Arabic program.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Akhi Mustafa. Like Mustafa said, my name is Abu Afnan Muhammad Abdullah. I'm a graduate of Jamiat al-Imam in Riyadh, and I'm one of the teachers for Islamic studies and likewise Arabic. Today, inshallah, I'll speak to you about our Islamic studies program and also our Arabic program. With regards to Islamic studies in general, the teachers are graduates of Islamic universities, or they are students in their last years of they're in the last years of studies at some of the Islamic universities in Saudi Arabia. With regards to pre-K and grade 10, or the Islamic studies covers up to from pre-K to grade 10. And we use, in terms of the curriculum, we use the Nurture Islam curriculum, which was devised by our sister Maymuna. And the contents of the books are taken from the works of scholars, and they have been revised by students of knowledge. One of the important things is that we realize that this information is being presented and taught to children. So the information is presented in a manner that's suitable to children with regards to their different grade levels. It's hands-on, it's engaging, it's taught in a manner that students not only do they memorize information, become familiar with information with regards to recall, but students are engaged in the information and they do projects. And especially when we get to the older or the upper level grades, for the older students, we try to cultivate in them the ability to think critically. So there are lots of activities and projects dealing with developing their critical thinking skills. Likewise, we understand that our student body is very international. You have students that are in the US, students that are in the UK, students that are in the Middle East and North Africa region. So we have programs that are based on internationally recognized standards. As you see here, the EYFS, or Early Years Foundational Stage in the UK, Common Core USA, also Cambridge International Assessment in the UK. Our assessment objectives, of course, they are relative to the specific grades with regards to, of course, the lower or the smaller, the lower grades and the smaller students. The focus is on recall, selecting, understanding, comprehension. And as the students get older, like I said earlier, the focus is on critical thinking skills, their ability to write, their ability to express themselves, their ability to express the things that they learn in the Islamic Studies program. And those, the subject matter is related to Aqidah, fiqh, also history. And then you have, depending on the grade levels, which we'll get into, you have specific themes like hadith and tafsir. With regards to the different levels, if you see here, pre-K, it's one class per week. And some of the subject matter, knowing Allah, His creations, the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. So we try to cultivate in the students at this level, different signs, recognizing the signs of Allah Azza wa Jal, knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Rabb, or the creator of everything in the creation, and that He's the only one deserving of worship. And the theme of Tawheed, and specifically Tawheed al-Ibaadah and the affairs of Aqidah, is something that is taught throughout all of the different levels. And we understand that Islamic studies is broad, so students get Aqidah, they get fiqh, and also they get specific subject matter. For example, depending on the different grades, the higher grades, they get, for example, introduction to hadith studies, introduction to tafsir, and the like. With regards to grades 6, 7, and 8, these are the upper level grades. If you look, you get, for example, the different categories of shirk, hadith studies, and the introduction to hadith studies. What does the word hadith mean? How were hadith compiled? And also students, they study and they memorize Nawawi's Arba'in hadith. They don't have to memorize it. It's encouraged for them to memorize it. They go through them. Also the different stories of the prophets. And likewise, with regards to the seasons, of course, this past year, right before Ramadan, that was when we studied everything that was related to fasting, the importance of Ramadan, the importance of fasting, the relationship between the Quran and the Ramadan. Likewise, with regards to Hajj, right before Hajj, there were several lessons based upon the rights of Hajj and the importance of Hajj and things that were related to that. And as we get in the upper grades, if you look, for example, grades 9 and 10, it's a bit more detailed. The history of the Quran, how was the Quran compiled, the sources of Islamic law, the Quran, and the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and how Islamic legislation is derived from those sources. Likewise, tafsir, they have classes, or they have several classes related to tafsir, different scholars of tafsir, the importance of understanding tafsir, what is considered correct tafsir as opposed to incorrect tafsir or incorrect sources of tafsir, the importance and the history of hadith. Likewise, practical implementation of certain Islamic values like good manners, being dutiful to one's parents, also being brothers with other Muslims. And the focus is on not just implementing the knowledge or giving knowledge to our students, but also cultivating with them strong Islamic personalities and strong Islamic morals and values and akhlaq. And that's demonstrated from the teachers, and that's demonstrated with regards to the interactions that we have in class, whether it be students amongst themselves or students and teacher interactions. And with regards to Arabic studies, we had last year, we had the levels 1 to 6, and I think this year it may go up to levels 1 to 7. The focus is on reading, writing, and listening. We do focus on speaking, but there's a variation between the background of many of our students. Like I said earlier, many of the students, or there are students that are based in the Middle East, and there are students that are based in the US, and sometimes there's a gap with regards to speaking skills, but we try to bridge that gap, and students are instructed with regards to speaking. The focus is on reading and writing, and like Brother Mustafa said earlier, with regards to the relationship between Arabic and their Quran studies, we try to mirror them so that what they get in Quran studies is reinforced in Arabic class, and what they study in Arabic class, they're able to implement in their Quran studies. We have been using the Medina book curriculum, and with regards to our standards, in the US, there's something called the ACTFL, which is the American Council for Teachers of Foreign Languages, and they have established standards with regards to functional language abilities, what students can do at a particular level. So we try to base our instruction upon those standards, so that when we say a student is at level 3, we can say that the student, upon finishing level 3, he is able to do such and such with regards to speaking, with regards to writing, with regards to listening, and with regards to reading. So our curriculum is based upon those standards and those guidelines. Likewise, in addition to implementing the language, there's also the cultural aspect. For example, in my level 6 class this past year, there were a group of students from the Emirates. There were some students from the US, and we were able to share certain aspects of culture and express that in Arabic. Once the students get to level 4, it's pretty much only Arabic. So only Arabic is spoken in the class from level 4 up. And, the students feed off each other, as well as the instruction from the teacher. With regards to the different levels, as Mustafa mentioned earlier, students, upon starting the program, they are tested and they are placed in their appropriate level. They are given an exam, and based upon that exam, they are placed in suitable levels. Levels 1 and 2, they meet 2 classes per week. And the focus is on reading and writing, also pronunciation skills, the individual letters, the letters with their respective vowel markings, numbers, and also selected vocabulary words. And students are given weekly plans whereby they and their parents are able to follow along. So students are always aware, parents are always aware of what's expected of students each week. Level 3, 2 classes per week as well. Again, reading and writing, words and phrases. Of course, now students have graduated from individual words and are putting those words together to make small phrases, small sentences, and strings of sentences, not yet at the paragraph level. Once they get to level 4, the focus is on students writing paragraphs, able to describe their immediate surroundings, able to carry on basic conversations and related to their immediate environment. And level 5 and 6, they are already at the paragraph level. So now they are writing more than one paragraph. They can read paragraphs. They can infer meaning of words from based upon the context. And they are able to speak about certain topics and express their opinions in Arabic. And again, once they get to levels 5 and 6, they're actually writing, and it's a lot more in depth than the previous levels. But like I said earlier, once they get to level 4, the instruction is only in Arabic. And we understand that many parents and students, they may have certain situations or certain predicaments that don't allow them to study Quran or Islamic studies or Arabic full time or throughout the week. So here at IDIA, we have Quran, Islamic studies, and Arabic offered in our weekend school program. And it's for boys and girls ages 5 to 15. With regards to the boys and girls ages 5 to 11, Saturdays and Sundays, they are taught Quran, Hifz, based upon the different levels, Qaida Nuraniya, reading, memorizing small surahs, memorizing surahs that the teacher has assigned. And with regards to Arabic, reading, writing, pronouncing individual letters, and also pronouncing those letters in the words and combining those words and learning the basics of reading. With regards to Islamic studies, knowing Allah, Ibaadah, Ramadan, stories of the prophets, and also Hadith studies. And with regards to the older students, ages 12 to 15, likewise, similar curriculum, but it's more in depth and it's related to their specific ages. And with regards to Islamic studies, the 5 pillars of Iman, the 6 pillars of Iman, the 5 pillars of Islam and Ramadan. So that's what the students are studying, basically based upon the hadith of Jibreel alayhi salam with regards to the questions that he asked the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And with regards to their materials for the Quran, Islamic studies, and Arabic program, they are purchased through their respective vendors. So it's not included in the school fees. The students are to purchase the books from outside vendors, and they will be given information with regards to how to purchase the books and anything that we can provide online or online copies, like with the Medina books, we do that. And now we'll open the floor for questions and answers. Sheikh Mustafa will answer your questions. If you have questions, just write them in the chat box, and I'll ask them to Brother Mustafa. So if you have questions, the floor is open for questions. Please write in the chat box, and you can ask any questions that you may have about anything that we discussed today. Thank you for your time. Sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. As far as I know, the chat box is open. So if anybody has questions, any of the parents, if you have questions, no. Okay. Okay, there's a question. Sheikh Mustafa says, I have a question. I just received my daughter's report cards. How do I submit them? I have already paid the registration fees.
Yeah, Jalebi, are you still online?
Yes. Assalamualaikum. So for the registration fees, after you've paid that and you have submitted the online application, then if you have the last report card, and you didn't submit that into the application at that point, then you can email it to Mrs. Madany, and we'll provide the emails for that in a bit after this portion of any questions for the Kia department. I will continue also with some key aspects for the academic portion. But if anyone has questions related to Quran, Islamic studies, or Arabic, then you can ask your questions for that at this point, and then we'll continue with some other aspects of the program as well as registration information.
There's a question here about with regards to how many students are there in one batch. Mustafa Jalebi.
Okay, if this is referring, I think this is referring to the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So Jalebi can answer that.
So our goal is typically in our core classes to have our ideal size is about 15, but oftentimes we go up to like about 17 students. And then we do open additional sections of a specific grade level if we do see it reach a certain number of students. Also, it just kind of depends on the class and the grade level. When it comes to any classes for Quran, we do try to keep them a bit smaller in size, not to usually exceed about 15 students, but even some classes are smaller in number depending on what level the student tests into. For the Arabic classes, they're relatively, no more than 15, 17, depending on the levels, once again, that the student is placed into, and then the time zones that the student is taking the classes in.
We would also like to add to that. We want parents to understand that the number of students, although it's ideal for a teacher, and alhamdulillah, all of our teachers are experienced teachers and they know how to manage and with even a higher number of students. But generally, as Julaybib mentioned, we try to keep those numbers low. But at the same time, we have to stress, and we really would like our parents to understand that at times when the number of students in a class is low, it harms the school in terms of the budget. It harms the school in terms of the budget, because keep in mind, in order to make our school appealing to educators, qualified Muslim educators, right? Because at this moment, we only have Muslim educators. But in order to make our school appealing to qualified Muslim educators, and I'm referring to the teachers, we have to provide a comfortable salary. We have to provide a comfortable salary. These people are individuals that have experience, they have degrees, right? When you want to bring someone into your school that has experience and have degrees, you have to be able to somewhat possible match what they could make if they were to go to a non-Muslim school or the likes. With that being the case, at times we will have to increase the number of students that are in a class so that we can hold on to our qualified, experienced teachers. So we, inshallah, alhamdulillah, they've always been able to manage the number of students, but it is possible. I'm not sure if that'll be this academic year or the next academic year, but it will be possible. I'm almost positive that we will at some point have to go up to about 20 students in a class, 18 to 20 students in a class, because we want to hold on to our teachers. And in order to do that, we have to increase the number of students in a class, because if we go down too low, that means that causes a problem in terms of the budget. That causes a problem in terms of the budget. So we just want parents to understand that. But at the same time, we do not compromise the level of instruction and discipline within the classroom. We don't compromise that. But we will at some point have to go up in the classroom to 18 to 20 students. There's a couple of questions about the curriculum. We saw that there was a question about the UK curriculum, the GCSE. At this moment, not yet. At this moment, not yet. We are in discussion with some partners in the UK to try to introduce the GCSE curriculum in our school. But as of now, no. But keep in mind, in terms of the lower and the middle grades, there's really no difference between the British curriculum and the American curriculum, lower grades and the middle grades. The GCSE really kicks in the upper grades, high school and the likes. So as of now, we haven't introduced it, but we are in discussion to offer that in the near future. Jalebi, you want to add anything to that?
Yes. So currently, the curriculum that we follow and the classes, the subjects that we have identified as a grade level requirement for students are aligned with the national standard of curriculum or subjects that would still be covered in the United Kingdom. So everything that is provided for students is provided for what they would take, whether they're in the US, whether they're in the United Kingdom, or whether they're in some other country where there is international school programming. And so, as Mustafa said, with the courses at this point for the middle school and high school level is where we're going to begin those preparatory workshops to help with preparation for the testing in those areas, and then direct families to proctoring centers in locations where they live to kind of take the exams for those levels and various things. However, the thing that we would probably note is terminology, differences in the lower and upper elementary school, programs. But in terms of subject content, they they completely align with what students would be following, whether they be in the US or the United Kingdom or some other country, inshallah.
Okay, I see a question. Is there a way to not have Arabic and only the Quran? So when it's a package, so you would pay for the secular studies, and you would and included in the secular studies would be Quran, the Islamic, and the Arabic. If you feel that your child, for whatever reason, you don't want them to learn Arabic, then Jalebi, in terms of the credit hours, would that be acceptable?
Yes. So, for example, we do have some students that maybe they're enrolled in other programs for academics, but then they only take the Quran, Islamic studies, and Arabic with us. There is also a way where you can take a single or specific subject for Quran, Islamic studies, or Arabic also. And so we do have that information located on our website on the tuition page, where you can kind of see there if you want to take an individual class, or if you're taking either the full program, which would include the academics with Quran, Islamic studies, and Arabic, or if you're taking like either or. So we'll be sharing that information. Also, it used to be located where we put out the different packages that you could take, whether it's core only or Kia only. Also, our administrative secretary has been providing the information to families who inquire via email.
Okay. How kids whose mother tongue is not English will be able to join? So I think that's, is that an ESL question? Jalebi?
Okay, so we do, depending on the grade and depending on the prior experience of the student, we would likely want to discuss this with you further one-to-one regarding a specific matter where it comes to ESL support. We have had students that were enrolled with us and they had little to no experience with English, and then alhamdulillah, they were able to progress and become active participants in the class, follow along with the class content, and do quite well, alhamdulillah. We actually, we can definitely attest to some situations like that. It just kind of depends. This is where we're working hand in hand with you, the parent. This is one thing that we do stress overall, because we do believe that it's a partnership between the parent and the school in order to support the learner. But it just kind of depends on each individual student's situation in regards to this question. And what I would do is put my information into the chat after the meeting, and then maybe can schedule an info call with you to discuss this a little bit further. There's another question I see about there's a couple of questions I see. One question, are all the classes virtual and not in the classroom? So this is a virtual school program that we have where classes are taught virtually. So students will be logging in via a device in order to access classes online with a live instructor. Classes are set up in the way that as if they were face-to-face in a school program, but online. Another question that I see is regarding the diplomas. Okay, so one thing that is really important, and one thing that we're also working on providing a space on our website that will talk about how students are able to use the U.S. high school diploma if they are located in a different country as well. Because this is a question that we know when it comes to our high school students is a really big question, as well as parents that are already trying to prepare a student's academic plan. This goes also hand in hand with, as I mentioned before, the student success workshops and the planning that we are working to implement, especially with our high school students. So when you have a U.S. high school diploma that is accredited by an accreditation agency that is recognized globally and approved globally, then yes, it is something that schools also use. So Cognia, the accreditation agency which we use, they also accredited many schools in the United Emirates, in Saudi Arabia, in other parts of the Middle East, in parts of Africa, in parts of Europe, in parts of Asia. The key thing that we, as well as Canada too, in India. So the information that we do plan to share, because we are having a high school meeting also next week for registered families and returning families, is that with the high school program, there are, what we want to connect is the information, because if you look on the boards of education or the Ministry of Education's websites for some of these particular locations, some it's a lot easier and kind of transparent. So like, for example, in Canada, they would definitely accept a US high school diploma. In India, they would accept a high school US diploma as well. And they also, Cognia is one of the accreditation bodies that they also have some pathways with or connections with, and they accreditate, many schools there as well. Also, when talking about Cognia accreditation in terms of United Emirates, it's the same, where they do accept as well. Now, with some programs, the difference is like, okay, like for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for example, that there's a certain level of attestation that has to take place. So this is one thing that we do is we try to, when a document needs to be attested, make sure that we notarize it depending on what country the student is located in. We're working to try to, build like different partnerships and opportunities for the students. The thing is that it would be more so that they're applying as if they're an international student coming into a place like Saudi, for example. But when it comes to some reasons, and this is the thing that we're trying to work towards publishing a list very soon of the countries that accept US diplomas, because there are, many countries located around the world that accept US high school diplomas as well for admission into their school. It's just that you have to meet a range of requirements as well. And so one thing that we want to do and that we're working to do is kind of create a plan for a student. We want to be able to discuss with your student as well as you what their next steps, what is the goal and the vision that they have after they complete high school, so that then we can try to see how we can support them with admission as well. And then what requirements are needed in terms of seat time in like certain contexts. So it just kind of depends on each country, but also there is like a lot of information that you can find for your country, or the state that you live in, or on their education board websites or Ministry of Education websites. There's some information that is there, but we are also working to get that information out to you so that it helps to keep you a little bit more informed. So those are some of the things that we're working on for the high school program.
There was a question about if the students aren't quite at let's say level 3, will that student continue on to level 4? No. If a student, as it relates to, if we're speaking about Quran and Arabic, if a student doesn't complete or doesn't pass what's required in that level, the student will remain at that level. We just won't pass the student on because it's scaffolding. In order to go to the next level, they would have to be proficient in the previous level. So if a student has not required the necessary skills to go into the next level, the child will remain in that level. And I'm speaking specifically about Arabic and Quran.
I see another question about how many days a week will students have to attend, and hours, and will they be live with the teacher at all times? So if you're in the live program, so for example, our school week is Sunday through Thursday. We follow a style of programming that mirrors that which you would find typically in the Middle East, we're off for Yom Juma and Saturday. And so classes for grades 1 and above are all offered 5 days a week. 5 days a week, Sunday through Thursday. And for preschool and our transitional kindergarten program, which comprises KG1 and KG2 that we will be offering this year, to have a wider level of support and stepping stone for students before entering grade 1. That program will be 4 days a week for our KG students, and 3 to 4 days depending on what classes the student is enrolled in for preschool. So we are going to be publishing some of the schedules on our school website. You can check back at our website, inshallah, to get that. Right now, there's a schedule from last year that is available on the website. If you look under the tab called Parent Resources, and then you'll find a schedule from last year. However, we are going to be publishing the school schedules for this year, inshallah, very soon, and emailing out copies to registered families. We're doing the pre-K through grade 2 schedules by the end of this week, and then grade 3 through 5 and beyond will be provided next week, inshallah. So these are things that we are working on now. For some, it may be tentative. We'll let you know if the schedule is set in stone or if it's tentative or anything like that as well. And can be contacted regarding any specifics regarding those live class schedules. And once again, for grades 3 through 11, inshallah, we will have the self-paced component where it's more flexible schedules if your student can't take live classes. So that is an option that you have, because we are serving so many different time zones. We try to set our schedules in a way that can serve more than one group of students. So we have 2 major time zones: KSA time zone, which encompasses students in the MENA region. So that's like Middle East, Europe, parts of Africa, the United Kingdom. The students are in this unique position where they either join in with KSA or choose to join in with our Eastern Standard Time Zone, as well as our families in United Emirates and Kuwait and Qatar and different places. They join in with the KSA time zone. For our students that are located in the US, as well as there's been times when we've had students from New Zealand or Caribbeans, different places, they would join in usually with the ET schedule. And this will also include students in the Pacific Standard Time Zone, as well as the Central Standard Time Zone as well. There's another question here. This is a question that we get asked a lot. And it is, would you ever consider opening a school in the UAE? So we're working, towards trying to improve, things with our school overall. And we feel strongly that, alhamdulillah, with the accreditation goals that we have already achieved and the work that it takes to continue to maintain it, and then other opportunities that we're working towards also completing and achieving, that, inshallah, it will open up bigger doors, inshallah, in the future, that hopefully we can provide a different level of support and a variety of support to our students that we serve. So we are trying to work on different options, different opportunities. It does take a lot of time. Right now, we currently do not receive grant or federal funding, and we are a tuition-based school currently. We know that we have families that come from different, levels of backgrounds and affordability. There's a lot that it takes to also manage and operate a school. And so these are things that we hope to work towards providing more options and ways of schooling for our students, inshallah, in the future. So it is something that is a question that often comes up about the UAE and opening a physical school location. And, and so everything's from Allah. That's the best way I think we can answer that. Mustafa, if there's anything you want to add to that.
No, that's fine. We want to try to answer some
Uh-huh.
more. Okay, so for middle school, will there be a lot of printing required, or will most of the work be out of the book?
Okay. Repeat that again. I'm sorry.
For middle school, will there be a lot of printing required, or will most of the work be out of the book?
Okay, so for middle school, what we have is we have some things that will be printed, and I mentioned also at the beginning that we are putting in more digital resources this year to help to provide an easier way for students to submit work with less printing. We want to have more of a balance in terms of printing and submission of digital assignments. So this is why we have been working to move towards also including the Google Classroom. So that way assignments can be digitized a lot easier for some students where it's harder to print. In addition to that, there are different resources that we are using this year that support the curriculum. And so for core knowledge, this is a curriculum that we use for the lower grades. I'll change my screen so that I can show you guys as well. So for example, we use a curriculum called Core Knowledge, which derives from Engage New York. And this is for English, for science, and for social studies. And then we use Eureka Math for the math curriculum. And so all of these, the curriculums, they are recognized and used in many schools within the United States. The reason why we selected this curriculum is because we feel like it's easy to kind of navigate and weed through as we're trying to ensure that curriculum is aligned with the Quran and Sunnah. In 2017, we did start a small publishing company called Everyday Ibaadah. We had started with that, and our goal was to always develop and build a comprehensive K through 12, pre-K through 12th grade curriculum. We did realize it's a big job. It's something we are still working on. However, we only have pre-K and kindergarten resources and some grade 1 and some grade 2 resources that we do use and as supplement in the lower elementary classrooms. Currently, this is why we use Core Knowledge and we use Eureka Math. And so we provide all the digital content that can be printed, downloaded, printed, find it. However, you can contact and we provide you with that information, the vendors, so you can purchase physical book copies also if you want to minimize printing. This is easier for students that are located in the United States to access. One thing that we are stressing with our teachers is that all books that are requested are used, so that then also that helps to support the structure of this. However, because we also find that the digital systems create a greater ease, this is why we're implementing also, where for core knowledge, we're using a system called Phantom Reads this year, where there will be like question sets, activities, quizzes, different things for students to just submit, answer and submit for the core knowledge. For the Eureka Math, we also have some digital content this year where you will answer the
Did this sound go off for everyone?
Yeah, it went out for me as well.
Okay. We just let her know we can't hear her. Okay, we'll continue with the questions until she comes back online. It says, in the UAE, what are the class timings and which days of the week for grades 2? The UAE is the Far East, so they're similar to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, India, and the likes. So their class, I believe lessons start at about 8 in the morning. Lessons start at about 8 in the morning, and they continue until about anytime between 2, 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, so those are the lesson timings for people, and it's similar to the US. The US, which is Canada, US, and the likes. Same thing at about 8 in the morning, and they continue to about 2, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, the next question: what is the difference between the Quran, Arabic, and Islamic per week versus the weekend school? Per week, obviously, they have more sessions. The weekend school they only have Saturday and Sunday, so they do a lot less in terms of the curriculum. They do a lot less in terms of the curriculum because they only have Saturday and Sunday. So the best thing is for our students for the student to be enrolled in the weekly Quran and Arabic and Islamic as per versus the weekend, because the weekend school it's a summarized version of what they would get in the week, and they get much less content. Obviously, get much less time with the teachers. For example, during the week, they get about like 2 Quran, they get 2 Arabic, they get 2 Islamic. So that's altogether, that's 6. I'm just giving an example, hypothetically speaking. On the weekend, they would only get 1. They would only get 1 Quran, 1 Arabic, 1 Islamic, right? So you're looking at 6 per week compared to 1 per week. So there's a big difference between what they take on the weekend as compared to what they take if they're registered with the weekly programs. What are the days for school in Egypt? In Egypt, I'm not sure. I believe Egypt is similar to Saudi Arabia. So I think Abu Afnan, do you have any knowledge about that? The weekend?
No, I'm not sure what the official weekend is in Egypt.
Okay, because in Saudi Arabia, the UAE and the likes of it, Kuwait, Friday and Saturday are the weekend. So because of that, because we have students that live in the Middle East and the like, so our school day is from Sunday through Thursday. So Friday and Saturday is the weekend. I believe Egypt is similar to Saudi Arabia, and that is, if I'm not mistaken, school is from Sunday through Thursday, or it's like the West, from Monday through Friday. Allah knows best. Can a high school student begin the Islamic studies at the basic, or will they begin at what's taught in their grade level? So they would begin at what's taught in their grade level. The high school student or students are placed in levels in Quran and Arabic. Students are placed in levels in Quran and Arabic. As for the Islamic education, they learn what's being taught in their class. They learn what's being taught in their grade. I'm sorry. They learn what's being taught in their grade. As for an 8-year-old boy, is he going to be taught by male or female? Quran, 8-year-old boy, which grade is he in? To the best of my knowledge, he's taught by a male. Grade 4 and up, males. KG to grade 3, they're taught by females, but grade 4 and up, they're taught by male. They have male instructors. Jalebi, she's back. You have a question. What are the general time frame for classes?
So the general time frames for classes vary according to where students are located. Typically, we try to make sure that all classes start generally after 8 a.m. That does not mean that a class will begin at that, or a schedule will begin at that time, but we're just trying to make sure that nothing, is prior. We know that we have students with us that are located all over the world. So we have students that are taking classes with us in Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, Kuwait, India, Bangladesh, parts of North and East Africa, parts of Europe. We have students enrolled with us from the US, United Kingdom, Canada, parts of the Caribbean. Because of this, we have a wide range of schedules that we provide, but in 2 major time zones, KSA and Eastern Standard Time, and then we convert it to the time of the students. This is why also we try, and we're aiming this year to schedule in a way that incorporates more students being able to join in at that time. Classes are, we're aiming for classes in the US time zones to start typically after 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This way, if classes are starting and you'll see schedules that will be from 11 a.m., then that means Eastern Standard Time, that means that students can join in at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's one, and then classes that begin at 11 a.m. are done by about 2:30. Classes about that begin at 10 a.m. would be ending about 1:30 or so. So it just kind of depends where the students are located and how that will look for the reasons that they are taking classes in. For KSA time zones, typically classes start anywhere after 9 a.m. We have some classes starting after 11 a.m. And so this is typically the style of scheduling that we will follow, but usually students that are starting at 9 a.m., they're done by about 1. Students starting later, like I said, they'll be done before like about 2:30, 2:45 is, inshallah. I see a question about, does the school provide a laptop? Was that one answered? Currently, we do not provide any, laptops or devices because once again, we are a tuition-based private school. We do not receive federal or state grants like some programs like K-12 where they're able to then send out devices and various things. We are working, like I said, towards being able to provide more options and more resources. One thing that we can direct families to, however, is that there are some special, I guess, discounts or rates for US students with T-Mobile, for example, and we can provide information for that as well, inshallah, this year. Also, they do have, just so that families know, they do have also, if you're like a T-Mobile, something like they have some things where you can even get assistance with like internet or something like that for families, for US families enrolled in virtual programs. There's a question about, there's a couple of questions. One is okay, there's one about how many classes are offered per day. So let me share my screen with you so I can. Okay, so for example, all the elementary school classes are 45 minutes per subject with about 10-minute breaks in between. And then we also have the upper, like the middle school and high school classes that are 55 minutes in length. And then they usually have breaks in between as well. It just kind of depends on the style of classes or when your student is taking the classes. You can join in live classes with the opposite time zone if that works for you. We have some families like that where maybe they work during the day and they're in KSA time zone. And so they opt to take evening classes instead of morning classes so they can better support their students. We have a variety of ways and supports that can be put into place. You just have to kind of identify how you would take the classes and the schedule that you would choose based on a system that fits best for you and your family. There are about 4 to 6 subjects that are offered today per grade per day, depending on the grade level. So it varies per grade level. when we're looking at preschool or kindergarten, it could be anywhere from 3 to 4 classes on some days, but typically 3 classes are seen for KG, and typically about 2 classes are seen for the pre-K students, then grades 1 and above. This is where then we're looking at anywhere from 4, classes to up to 6 classes for the higher grades, depending on, what classes they are scheduled for or they're taking. Are they in extra Quran classes? These are things that would kind of change the amount of classes that your students are taking. There was another question about IEPs. So we can provide support for some students that have IEPs or educational health plans or 504s. It's just that we have to make sure that it's an IEP that we can provide support for. We want to make sure that we are always a service to a family and never a disservice. So this is why at the point of application, we ask for you to submit a copy of the IEP. This way we can read it and see if we can accommodate your student. We have accepted students with IEPs such as ADHD or ADD or other health impairments related to either one of those diagnoses. We know that we have some students that may be autistic but high functioning, and they can participate in a virtual environment. But then if it's a student that is a lower level functioning student and have cognitive delays or autism or something like that, we would probably recommend a better fit for you in an environment where there's more support and even sometimes face-to-face. It just kind of really depends on your student, what the IEP says. And also we do always try to look at what resources are in your community that would still be, that they can still provide for, and then we would work hand in hand. We have skill boosters, which are like resource-like classes or tutoring classes. We provide them one-on-one to students with IEPs to help with those minutes that they may have. For students that have and then we do small group classes as well. This would be at no additional cost for those students with the IEPs, only because we know that they need a certain level of support. However, for students that are just struggling with learning, they just need extra help with math or they need extra help with writing. We do have skill boosters too, but this is for an additional fee. We do try to make sure that it's reasonable. This is something that we'll be implementing this year, where there's a fee applied to it, just because, once again, we did not receive grant or federal or state funding, and we are a tuition-based school, and it does take a lot of, with our teachers as well. They work extremely hard at what they do, alhamdulillah. We're really appreciative of all of our teachers, and we want to make sure that we are being able to support them. So the thing that is that we're mindful of is what we can provide support for and what we can't provide support for. And so this is why we need to kind of look at the IEP so that we can really see, because what it is. We want to be able to really support the students that we have. There's another question. Would EDIA accommodate a student who would like to participate in a dual enrollment program at their local community college? So yes, we can accept students that are taking classes at a community college. This is specifically for high school students, but then I have recently found out for students in middle school, like 8th graders, this is something too that can actually take place, because there are other programs in the state of California that operate in this manner and context. And then I know one school that one of the department chairs that I spoke to already, she was saying that, there's some classes that they need that we can do dual enrollment in, for them. I know that there's other programs that you may have where dual enrollment can take place. This is a common thing with high schools in the United States, where students are taking college credit and high school credit at the same time. So we are working on trying to create more opportunities, but let's say you're already in the program, alhamdulillah, that's great. And the program can work around the time that you're with us, then we can make it work, because this is something that many high school programs do accommodate within the state of California already at the high school level. So this is where we would, high school level, and then we can see about 8th grade, because like I said, 8th graders are able to participate in programs like these, but anyone below that, I can't really speak to that, but I can speak to what, how or what dual programs are acceptable and that we can actually collaborate with. Let's see, other questions? So we have a Meet the Teacher event that is offered a week or a week and a half before school starts. We did have a summer school program. That would have been one way that you could have, kind of had a little bit of the experience. However, the summer school program is different from our actual, week or regular school program. But we don't have anything aside from the Meet the Teacher event where you could kind of get that experience that we offer at this current moment. The only thing would have been summer school, which is ending soon, as well as, that would be the only thing. So we always had an option to buy some of the textbooks. It was on the material list. It's just that you had to contact the vendor yourself to purchase the materials for the workbooks. One thing that we are doing this year is having those digital systems for some where the student can submit their assignment using the digital format. So that's one thing that we are doing differently to minimize some of the printing. Other than that, you can always contact the vendors. Any other questions?
Jalebi, there are some questions here with regard to the HIFL program.
Okay.
What age group?
For the HIFA program, it's for students. I believe they would have to be between the ages of 7 and, I think it was like 7 and could have been 17, but I know it's starting at age 7. I can check this too. Any other questions?
Is there a QIA transcript or certificate issued? If so, how often are they issued?
For Kia?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, so students do receive certificates at the end of completion of different programs and levels. Now, with the HIFA program, this is something that we are trying to, also, provide, because they would get tested and have to complete a certain, level of Quran memorization in order to be, I think, promoted to the next level. So that's something that is being, developed and worked on. They can get, of course, the transcript copy at any time of the classes and the grades that they received. I see another question here that says, will we have adult Islamic studies program where they can have independent program to learn the Quran and the Sunnah? Once again, this is one of those questions that we have been asked in the past. And inshallah, as we continue to grow and develop different options and formats for learners and expand the program, it's something that we could definitely consider, inshallah, for the future. But it's something that currently we don't have, but may be possible for the future. It just kind of depends on what's what happens.
I'm following the UK curriculum. Can my child take some subjects and leave some that are not being used in the UK curriculum?
So that's that question before that. I think it was kind of asked. So we can, like I said, with the style of classes where you can select certain classes with the core, academics that you take, and then you'll take with the other, the other program or study according to for the test and for the different levels and various things like that. It just depends on how you enroll. So there is a way possibly that you can, enroll in specific classes. But once again, still be like live classes that you take, and then you would still take the exams, for that Cambridge, level certification.
Then there's a question with regard to, is it too late to register for the fall semester for pre-K?
No, it's not too late to register. We're accepting, we usually accept registration up until the second week of school. It's just there's a difference between early registration and late registration, as well as we have like different things that are going on, like grade level orientations. We have technology workshops, meet the teacher events, and then different other things that we're providing in order to get everybody set up and ready to go. So we do encourage families to register as soon as possible, so that then it's, they can be ready by the beginning of the school year.
Can you please post the page that shows how to purchase the books as well? How do I get materials shipped to Egypt?
So after registration, you would get a materials list from Mrs. Madany, the administrative secretary. And so then from there, you can see where the vendors usually do ship the materials to the US. If you need assistance from us, being a liaison to help you get the materials shipped to Egypt, this is something that we can try to accommodate. It's just that Mrs. Madany, the administrative secretary, would be the point of contact for this, so that then we can try to get the materials shipped from the US if you do not have or do not have a family member that is living and can get the materials shipped to you. Because you would still purchase the materials and get them, shipped to a certain location.
Just to make sure that the Islamic studies books and the Arabic books are digital books. So you will be getting a download link, inshallah, where you will have to print it or use it as digital materials. Then there's another question. I would like to know a bit more about the local group meetups.
Okay, so the local meetups are something that we have we've been trying to implement since we began, and alhamdulillah, we were able to start this past year. And with the local meetups, it's an opportunity where families can come together in a specific region, and students get an opportunity to meet peers, any teachers that are also located in that area and can attend, and usually they do help facilitate, as well as any administrative staff. This past year, we had two local meetups. We had one that was in Newark, New Jersey, and we had families that joined us from New York, Connecticut, as well as Pennsylvania. Alhamdulillah, it was a really nice event at Turtleback Zoo, and it went well. Then later on in the year, in April, we had another local meetup that was in Dubai, United Emirates, at Quran Park. It was facilitated by our parent advisory council members, as well as teachers. And then in addition to that, we had students and families that joined. We actually have a video that we had published on our website that helped to kind of highlight that event. Alhamdulillah, it was a nice turnout. We even had a family that drove from Oman to join in. So when we have the local meetups, we usually try to have them scheduled in a place where we have a good amount of students located, and then families that are in surrounding areas can kind of drive down to meet the families in that region. And so, inshallah, we do plan to have more. I know we've been working on trying to get one going for Riyadh this year. Also, we have had parents that are requesting one in the Atlanta, Georgia region for this upcoming school year. So we are trying to prepare some additional ones. This is where it does take the support of the parent advisory council, teachers and administrators that are located in a particular area. But alhamdulillah, this is something that we, are really always happy about, and we love to see the students come together and the parents and the networking that takes place.
Are there enough teachers in the school to be able to communicate with parents and students and follow up parents?
Oh, yes. This is something that is like always, ever since, even when we were a smaller campus and we started out with 50, because in our first year we started out actually with 57 students, but our parents and our teachers, there was always communication between teachers and parents. This is one thing that we really stress and we really aim. This is because with our parents and our teachers, once again, we believe that communication is key. We believe that teachers and parents should be working together as partners to support students with their learning and to support students overall. And so communication is really big. This is why we stress the use of the office hours when needed. There's email communication, ThinkWave communication. We have a WhatsApp group that is open every year, and where we send quick messages and updates. It will be this year opening on the 13th, inshallah, and we'll begin, communicating information then. Also, the thing is that we always try to encourage that teachers are the first point of contact for a parent before going to the principal. This helps to foster, a good relationship with the teacher and parent as well. However, the principal is always there for you. The directors were here for you. The lead teachers are here. Everybody, really tries to support as much as possible. We always ask that Allah makes us better in what we do and make, the systems like more streamlined and easier, inshallah.
How long does it take to get enrolled from here, inshallah?
We're trying to get everybody set up and ready to go before the first week of school. So if you submit a registration and an application and you register for the school, we have some things starting next week. We had things going this week. We have placement tests. The math placement test started this past Sunday and Monday. So we're trying to we've been working to get everyone prepared and ready. So it all depends also on how quickly you get us the application and you pay the registration. You also are signing up for the placement test that we have. We are going to be having Quran and Arabic placement tests this next week coming up. In addition to that, the academic placement test, like I said, we had math this past week. We will be having more math and reading and writing the upcoming week as well. And then all those workshops that we have, the orientations and the technology workshops, it's so important that you complete those. So our goal is to have everybody who
think Jalebi had a power cut at the moment, or a power outage. Inshallah, she come back. And we're just trying to see the questions a little more, whatever we have, and we'll just try to answer, inshallah. Please check the chat box for the email addresses. We are putting it up there for contacting about the fees, the admissions. And with regard to the payments, whether it's monthly or yearly, you have the fees page there, the website. You can opt for it. You have the details there. Let me put up the fees page details again. With regard to the printing materials, so the printing materials with regard to the digital books, there are it depends on the class, right? For example, if I'm going to talk about the Islamic studies, then we encourage the students to write, because that's something that is important for the lower grades. You could print only the Islamic studies materials come with the text, with explanation, and then the activities and worksheets. So you could only print the worksheets, and they could be easily printed through a home printer. With regard to the other materials for secular subjects, as well as the higher grades, it actually depends with the classwork and how they have to do. So like Jalebi mentioned, that they're trying to make it digital wherever it is easier, but I think for the lower grades, they are expected to be printed and written on the page or the worksheets and then uploaded to the system. Is Jalebi back? Okay, I'm just looking at the other questions. What is the calendar year? We start in September or the end of August. Like this year, we're starting the 27th of August, inshallah. And the calendar year is till June. So we have breaks in between for the Ramadan, the Eid break, the last 2 weeks or the last 10 days, and the Eid week. And then we have a winter break. And those are the only 2 breaks we have. And then we end the semester in June. Okay. Okay, is there any other questions, or are we done with all questions? Did we miss anything? Which link is not working? Which is the link that you're looking for? Okay, when do we get confirmation that our children are enrolled successfully and they can start their planned studies? So we're starting on the 27th and the admissions are going on now. Have you already registered? If you have registered, then you should have received by now the placement tests for different, if you have enrolled for Arabic and Islamic studies, Arabic and Quran, then you should have got the placement test dates for you to fix the time and the date for that. And it depends on the class. You could always contact the email address info@everydayibaadah.com and then follow up, inshallah. Fees related inquiries, link not working. Okay, fees related inquiries about siblings and things like that, that is there. That is an email address. That is our secretary, Miss Madani. You could contact her. So if you go to our website, Tahniya, could you just put in the website links, inshallah? So when do you get the confirmation? As soon as your your application is processed, you should get. Please also check your spam as well as your junk folders, since it is email communication, maybe that it goes into different folders. So it's always best to save Everyday Ibadah as your contact so that you don't miss any emails. Any other questions? Okay. Okay, any other questions, or should we? If there are no questions, then inshallah we can end. And you can contact us through the emails. I'm just going to post the email addresses again, and we can end the meeting, inshallah. If you do have any questions, you can contact us and contact Julaybib through the WhatsApp number that we have. I'm just going to put that, inshallah. Just give us a minute. Okay, I'm just going to put the Tahaniyat, are you there? Could you just put in the information, the links, the website in one thing where it's easier to get it? Okay, so inshallah with that, we will end the session today, and we will follow it up with any other questions through the WhatsApp or an info call with Julaybib, inshallah. We thank everyone for attending the information session today, and we hope that we were able to provide all information that you need. If we have missed you out in any way, please excuse us on that, and we will get back to you soon with any of your queries. All information are in the website, and the contact details are also in the website. Just gonna write the link here. Okay, so that's okay. So that is our website. Maybe you need to copy that and paste it, inshallah. Okay, Jazakumullah khair, everyone, for joining us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.